This is Valley View News.
Rookies take over Staples Center in this year's All-Star Weekend.
I heard gangs, I heard it's been haunted.
Nobody really knows.
Runyon Canyon's Mystery Mansion is on the market, whether or not it's haunted or ready for tenants.
Anybody that can buy a GPS receiver and it can be a pirate.
Warships and helicopters trail a Southland yacht seized by Somali pirates off the coast of Oman.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Joe Galley.
And I'm Candace Rander.
In a time of recession and a struggling housing market, there is no shortage of distressed homes for sale in Los Angeles. Valley View's David M. Johnson reports on a huge troubled property up for sale in the Hollywood Hills.
If you've ever hiked Runyon Canyon, you've probably passed this wedding cake of a structure. Perched high atop the hills overlooking Hollywood, passing hikers pause to try to unravel the mystery surrounding this hillside mansion.
Because you have a big house here, it's somewhat, well, in my mindset, I'm thinking it's vacant.
Ghost stories and wild parties add to its urban legend.
I heard gangs, I heard it's been haunted.
Nobody really knows. No one really says anything. It's been boarded up.
This lavish mansion is 9,800 square feet, and it sits on 22 acres of prime real estate here in the Hollywood Hills. It's got a fantastic view of downtown, and you can also see Catalina Island from a distance on a clear day. Now, the asking price is $15.2 million, and that's up from $12.5 recently. Now, I asked some hikers if they would be willing to pay that much for this property.
No, not really. I mean, if I'm paying 15.2, I mean, the house should be immaculate.
Would I move in? You know, I would, but I'd put up a big, like, King Kong size wall.
The people living on the property were hired by the owner to protect against intruders. The couple who originally commissioned the house divorced and sold it unfinished. Since then, it's been through a real estate dispute, a failed partnership, and has been declared legally uninhabitable. For all its aspirations at grandeur, it's only had one serious inquiry. Reporting from the Hollywood Hills, David M. Johnson, Valley View News.
The U.S. government continues to keep a close watch on the protests calling for democracy in Libya. Reports say pro-regime snipers have shot at crowds of protesters, leaving blood on the city's main square. The snipers opened fire from the rooftops on people gathering overnight. Al Jazeera reports a fire was burning inside the People's Hall, which is a symbol for the regime strongman Muammar Gaddafi. Gunmen driving in cars displaying photos of Gaddafi also opened fire on protesters in the streets. Government forces appear to have regained control of Central Green Square. Gaddafi's location remains unknown after his once invincible power seems to be faltering. An analyst says Gaddafi maintains control of the capital city of Tripoli, but has lost Benghazi and much of the east to protesters. 5 bodies were found after thousands of demonstrators protested for political reform in Morocco. The victims were discovered in a bank that burned down in a town in northern Morocco. Over 37,000 people participated in the nationwide protest. 24 banks and 50 shops were vandalized, and over 100 people were injured.
The suspect in the stabbing death of motivational speaker Jeffrey Locker says Locker asked him to commit a Kevorkian. Kenneth Miner says Locker persuaded him to hold a knife steady while Locker impaled himself on it. Miner alleges Locker wanted to make sure the family collected millions of dollars in life insurance. Miner faces second-degree murder charges.
A civilian watchdog agency says it has found mistakes by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department in the death of journalist Ruben Salazar. Salazar was killed 41 years ago by a tear gas canister fired by sheriff's deputies. In the weeks before he was killed, Salazar was investigating allegations of misconduct by Los Angeles police and sheriff's deputies. He told friends he thought authorities might do something to discredit his reporting. The watchdog group did not find any evidence that Salazar was targeted, but it says it did not find mistakes in why the tear gas canister was fired into the bar where Salazar sat. He was struck in the head and killed instantly. The agency says Salazar may have simply been at the wrong place at the wrong time when deputies clashed with protesters during an anti-war rally.
A Sacramento TV crew became the news when attacked by mourners of a murder victim. Friends and family of Chester Jackson were holding impromptu vigil outside IHOP restaurant. When reporter John Libertini began asking questions, he was attacked by mourners. Camerawoman Rebecca Little was pulled to the ground by her hair before being kicked by a mob.
The down economy has been hard on mom and pop stores in the United States over the past 3 years. Many mom and pops have been forced to close their doors and liquidate their inventory. I went to one San Fernando Valley store that is trying to use the poor economy to their advantage.
It's like walking into a candy store and looking and see what flavors they have for the week, you know, every time it's different.
This is no candy store. This is Mr. Stuff in Northridge, California.
Mr. Stuff.
Mr. Stuff is a wholesale store that has all kinds of interesting merchandise for customers to go through. Power tools, art, and shelves of random items. Bob Meyer has owned this family business for over 30 years. Meyer explains how he acquires all the stuff for the store.
Well, people know me from all over the country, all over the world actually. When they go out of business or they have product they want to get rid of, they call us.
Mr. Stuff isn't just for big wholesalers. The store sells to individual customers as well.
A lot of people that have to buy wholesale, if you're not going to spend $5,000, a lot of the vendors don't even want to talk to you. Here you could buy a case. You could buy a dozen. We sell to a lot of people that sell on eBay, Craigslist, swap meets, all over the world, really.
Customers are welcome to walk in and buy individual items from Mr. Stuff's always changing inventory.
I come here every once in a while, and they have good prices on things that you can't find at a lot of other stores. Closeouts and tools and other material that I just can't find anywhere else.
The downed economy in the United States has led to an explosion of inventory here at Mr. Stuff, and you can find such specialty items as coconut bird feeders or welding goggles or even these really, really big wrenches.
We have guitars.
It's the kind of place you find little things.
We have ammo cans from the U.S. Army.
You spend the money and you get things that, I mean, I'm going to use the stuff, but they've got everything. I mean, it's nuts.
They call us Mr. Stuff.
In Northridge, I'm Joe Galley for Valley View News.
2 Southern Californians sailing around the world are being held hostage on their yacht by pirates off the coast of Somalia. Scott and Jean Adam have been sailing around the world since 2004.
We're monitoring the situation together with Central Command and are standing by to support if called upon. Explosion of electronics that has allowed these things to come down in price means anybody that can buy a GPS receiver and a few things at a hardware store can be a pirate.
Officials say attacks by pirates off the coast of East Africa have increased in recent years because of easy and affordable access to global positioning technology.
After the break, Valley View News reporter Diego Santiago reports from the sidelines of the NBA Rookie Challenge and will cover the highlights from the NBA All-Star Game.